Every career advice article tells you the same thing. Stay out of office politics, keep your head down, just do good work.
But that advice might be quietly ending your career. Picture 2 employees, same office, same manager, same politics, gossip, and hidden alliances happening behind closed doors. One of them burns out, feels manipulated, and eventually quits. The other thrives, gets promoted, and barely seems to notice the chaos around them. Same environment, completely different outcome. For years, psychologists wanted to know why. And what they found changes almost everything we're told about dealing with office politics. Most of us have been given the same advice about office politics. Stay out of it. Keep your head down. Do good work and let it speak for itself. It sounds reasonable. Nobody wants to be seen as the person who plays games at work. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Office politics isn't some optional side event happening at the edges of your job. Any workplace with more than one person has it. Because wherever there are limited promotions, limited resources, and human egos, there's competition for influence. The real question was never whether politics exists. The real question is why some people get crushed by it, and others move through it without ever feeling dirty about it. In the early 2000s, a group of organizational psychologists, led by researcher Gerald Ferris, decided to actually study this instead of guessing. They wanted to know if some people were simply better at navigating workplace power dynamics and whether that ability could be measured like any other skill. What they found became known as political skill, not the manipulative, backstabbing kind of politics most people imagine. Something closer to social intelligence, reading situations accurately, understanding what people actually want, building real relationships, and influencing outcomes without seeming to try. But here's the detail that surprised even the researchers. It wasn't about being extroverted, aggressive, or ruthless. Some of the highest scoring people were quiet and easy to underestimate. And when researchers studied how employees reacted to politically intense workplaces, another pattern showed up. In offices where people felt politics was high, favoritism, hidden agendas, unclear decisions, most reported more stress and lower satisfaction. That part wasn't surprising. But the people who scored high in political skill, the same toxic environment barely touched them. In some studies, they didn't just survive the politics, they used it to their advantage. Same pressure, same office, almost immune. So what actually makes up this skill? Researchers broke it into 4 parts. First, social astuteness, reading people accurately, noticing what's really going on beneath the surface conversation. Second, interpersonal influence, adjusting how you communicate depending on who you're talking to without being fake. Third, networking ability, building real relationships before you need something, not just when you want something. And fourth, apparent sincerity, coming across as genuine, because people can sense when influence feels manipulative and they resist it. Put those 4 together and you get someone who can move through a political environment without ever needing to lie or play dirty. That's the part nobody tells you. The people who seem to rise above office politics usually aren't ignoring it. They're just better at reading it than everyone else in the room. Here's what we actually know. Political skill has been studied across many workplaces, and it's consistently linked to things like job performance, career outcomes, and lower stress in politically charged environments. That part is well supported. What we don't know is exactly how much of it is natural versus something you can build later. Researchers are still debating that. And here's where opinions really split. Some workplace experts argue political skill is just a survival tool in flawed systems, and organizations should be redesigned to reduce politics, not just teach people to cope with it. Others argue politics will always exist wherever humans work together, so learning to navigate it isn't optional. That debate still isn't settled. So maybe the real question isn't how to avoid office politics. Maybe it's whether you're paying enough attention to actually see the game being played around you. Because somewhere in your office right now, someone is reading the room better than you are. So, are you playing the game, or is the game playing you? Tell me what your office politics story looks like in the comments. I read everyone.